America. They want it destroyed. They want our culture destroyed. They're stealing our country from the American people and giving it to people who don't deserve it. That's the real facts. They are not migrants. They're not anything other than illegal aliens. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate it.
All right. Man. Okay. Now, let me just add some levity to this. This isn't the Democrats. This isn't the Republicans. This is apathy. This is what we have been doing for decades. The border issue has been a problem going back to George Herbert Walker Bush and before. This is something that's been going on for a long time because we were always hoping that we could figure it out. We would do the right thing. It would happen and unfold the way it was supposed to. Well, guess what? It did not. And, you know, we have this perception that everybody coming into the country is a gang member. That's not the case. Listen, they're in impoverished part of the world. They're trying to feed their family. Does this story sound familiar? And all they keep hearing is a better life in America, more opportunity in America. If we could just get to America. It's what they were saying coming into the 20th century in places like Ireland and Italy and France and Germany and Poland. Let's go to America. We'll have a chance there. Let's get out of here. There's nothing. We can't even find food to eat. Let's go. And if you think crime is bad in this country, why do you think many of them are trying to get out of their country? We have to find a way. We are a body, a world of immigrants. We have to find a way. And imagine one thing right now. We're now 20 plus years into this century. Imagine if we could find a way to bring people into this country legally, get them the citizenship that they all really want. Many of them would love to have it. They don't want to have to hide from ICE. They don't have to be shaking in their boots every night when there's a knock on the door. They don't want to have to move to place to place to place. They just want an opportunity, and that's why they're willing to work harder than most. Listen, I'm just going to tell you, if the average American took some of the jobs that those people who have come to this country have taken to be able to make ends meet, we wouldn't last a day. But everything is turning out to be the evil empire, and they're all bad. They're all frightening. Well, they're not. And if you think everybody came through Ellis Island legally, forget about it. And I was talking earlier about the Alto Knights. You got to watch the movie. Robert De Niro plays those two characters. They come to this country with nothing. They had to find a way to earn an income. Doesn't make it right. But how do you think that organized crime started in the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s? Immigrants coming from across the Atlantic who would not get an opportunity because of who they were or their heritage. It's the exact same thing we're dealing with today. But what changed it, we found a way to do it legally. And many of them who came here wanting that citizenship, got that citizenship, were literally thrust into World War I and World War II and had to go back to the old country that they called home to fight for their new country, and they were proud to do it. And they came back and built America through the industrial age that, believe it or not, even though it's been 50 years since we've had any kind of manufacturing base in Western Pennsylvania, we continue to survive because of their sweat equity. Imagine all the money, all the time, all the effort that we've spent in this border issue. If we could do half of the money and find a way to do it right half the time, imagine what the workforce would be. And let me tell you something else. Why we have to get this fixed. Because I believe we're about ready to go through a manufacturing boom that we haven't seen in generations. And do you know what worries me the most? If we have the workforce, if we have not so much the knowledge to learn, that's there, but really hard work. I can't tell you how many nights, how many days I'm out and about. I see people working for a living. I'm grateful. I simply say, I may be a hard worker, but do I really work hard? I have seen people at the end of the day who were literally standing next to me in a convenience store, and they're just exhausted. And by their attire, their uniform, you know that they're working physically demanding jobs. And they are so tired that they can't even have a conversation with the cashier. I see it all the time. I see these incredible men from the building trades in PennDOT that are out working on the roads when I'm headed home after a long day on the radio, and they do more physical labor in probably 30 minutes than I do for an entire day. And there's no room for error for a lot of these jobs. So if you have people that want to come to this country, you have people that want a slice of that American apple pie and all the dreams that come with it, then teach them a skill set. But first, get them into this country and give them the opportunity to achieve. That's what we did with our grandparents and great-grandparents. The people that really built America were immigrants who worked shoulder to shoulder with hardworking people that were born in this country. So why can't we do it again? Why can't we find a way to partner up to do it again? Imagine with that backbone and that work ethic and that grit of people coming into this country risking life and limb to get it done would be given a fair shot and an opportunity. I can tell you right now, until we catch up, they'd be running circles around us. They're not all bad. They're not all criminals. They're people like all of us who have children that they love, a family that they care about. They're just looking for a way to support them. And we need to find a way to bring them into this country legally and let them become citizens of the United States of America. More calls coming up.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have two nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com. And make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Tune in to 1020 KDKA Radio for Medical Frontiers with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer from the Allegheny Health Network every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Dr. Pfeiffer and his special guests will cover the information that you want to know about your health and the latest trends in medicine.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life, your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News special report. In the country's second largest city, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass declares an overnight curfew in the downtown area after several nights of unrest and vandalism during immigration protests. It runs from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Break the curfew and you will be prosecuted.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is scheduled to deliver a major address this hour. CBS's Maurice Dubois in Los Angeles reports.
This is what it's like on the dividing line in downtown L.A. Peaceful protesters here, part of a group of hundreds of people in downtown. And right here, we have National Guard troops standing at the ready.
President Trump has defended his move to send in the National Guard and 700 Marines. CBS's Nicole Killian.
They continue to insist that the military is strictly there, mostly in the capacity of trying to secure federal facilities and personnel.
ICE pictures show National Guard troops appearing to protect ICE agents making arrests in L.A. CBS News special report. I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
Hey, folks, it's Marty. We need windows. And now's the time to get windows. I'm going to tell you why. Universal Windows Direct has this amazing deal. Payments as low as $99. Come on. No payments, no interest for an entire year. A full year to enjoy the comfort, savings and the beauty of these windows. And listen, they'll come to your house, free estimate. Universal Windows Direct. Their work is spectacular and eye-opening. 412-545-6003.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
A clear sky for tonight. It's pretty comfortable with a low of 57 and hazy sunshine up to 82 tomorrow. A clear sky tomorrow night, low 64, and then hazy sun again Thursday and warmer, high up to 86. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson at 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Hi, this is Larry Richard. Join us on the Big K Morning Show tomorrow, 5:30 until 10. You'll hear what Aaron Rodgers had to say after mandatory minicamp. More on the U.S. Open and Rich Fitzgerald in studio in our 7 o'clock hour.
So how many times do you think we're going to hear the name Aaron Rodgers over the next 8, 9, 10 months? Hopefully into the new year, right? Wow, it's going to be a thrill a minute, believe me. All right, here we go. Bishop Denora, you're on KDK with your Pratt Pack. Hey, Bishop.
Yes, sir. How you doing there, Mr. Pratt?
I'm good, sir.
Mr. Pratt, this stuff has to stop here. Let me just say this to you. Yes, there was some vandalism out there in Los Angeles, but that's no riot. What you saw there in Washington, D.C., that he keeps dismissing, which I do not like, that was a riot and insurrection and to the police officers and law enforcement officers of the Capitol and against lawmakers, and that's a fact. You cannot make that stuff up. Now, let me just say this. There's no way in the world that this guy should be superseding it. I'd feel the same way. God forbid if anything happened in the state of Pennsylvania where there were rallies and everything like that, a couple of cars got burned, he going to decide he going to stand there in the military. Give me a break. It's wrong. I don't care how you slice it. You let California, I don't think the governor and the mayor, Karen Bass, is incompetent to where if they felt that city was being overrun, then they would call in their own National Guard. I mean, come on, give me a break on that. Now, listen, with the legal, nobody is really in favor of illegal immigration. It should be done the right way. But not what you're doing now and tricking these people to show up and then you arrest them or detain them. Or you taking these families and these kids. Now, Mr. Pratt, who's going to watch these kids that's left behind? I'm asking you that question.
That's a very good question, Bishop.
The parents are gone. The parents are gone. Who's watching them? Where's the money? Or the husband is gone. Say he's working in the field. Then, and Mr. Pratt, and I'll close with this, and I want you to understand this. Now, you know I travel a lot, and I'm not going to lead you astray or let me tell you something, Mr. Pratt, and my cousin tells me all the time, there's a whole lot of illegal immigrants that's working on the horse farms in Kentucky. She lives there. She's involved. She knows what's going on. I have traveled South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. Let me tell you something, Mr. Pratt. Those southern states, and they're not telling us in the East because he has a vendetta against the northern states because they're mostly Democratic. The southern states, Mr. Pratt, I swear to you, they're loaded with illegal immigration. And let me tell you something. The only thing I agreed with him, and I've been telling people of color that I'm for birthright citizen. You know why I'm for birthright? It's because the Russian has they have baby mills down in Florida. I'm not. You can't make this up. You can look it up. But I've been studying this for years, Mr. Pratt, where the women have the babies here, and when the baby is born, it automatically becomes an American citizen. They take the kids back to Russia. Okay. Now that kid can come back 17, 18, 19 years from now. Hey, I'm an American citizen, but he's been brainwashed and indoctrinated by Russian society. So what kind of culture are they going to bring over here? I've been worrying about this, Mr. Pratt. My kid, your grandkids, and everything, they're going to have to deal with that situation later on. That there's nothing good out of this. I'll close with this. You remember Khrushchev? Remember him?
I surely do.
Khrushchev said, there'll be a day where we'll be able to take America and we won't even have to fire a single shot. And what I believe is, because George Patton had it right, we should have turned against the Russians too, that this baby mill factory that is going on, has been going on for years, they become a citizen. They send them back to Russia. They come back, hey, I'm an American citizen. I was born in America. But they've been indoctrinated by Russian society.
All right. Bishop, I am backed up. I got a lot of calls I want to get in here, so I'm going to move on now. I thank you for the call. Let's head to Andy in Butler, and then we've got Todd and Irwin and Craig in West Virginia. Andy, all yours, bud.
All right, hey, just real quick, the bishop asked a question. He said, who's going to take care of all the kids, after these parents get deported? And then he goes on to talk about Russian baby mills. So I'm going to give you your answer, all right? The children go with their parents because they're minors, okay? And they should be under the care of their parents. So that's what happens to the children. You send them with their parents, okay? It doesn't matter if they were born in America and they're an American citizen. They're a minor. They go with their parents. So that solves that problem real quick, real easy. Look, well, you talk about Ellis Island, okay? So I want to talk about Ellis Island for a second here with you, all right? From 1892 to 1954, Ellis Island processed approximately 12 million immigrants. 12 million immigrants over approximately 62 years. Joe Biden let in 12 million immigrants over the course of 4 years. Okay? So we don't need any more Ellis Island comparisons because the number of people that came through Ellis Island compared to the number of people that came through during Joe Biden's administration, there's no comparison. One was over 60 years. One was over 4 years. All right? No country can withstand that level of immigration without any checks and balances. Okay? You can't let in that many people. There aren't that many jobs to be had here. All right? We don't really talk about, jobs in America that aren't filled. There aren't that many jobs to be had. All right? And that level of immigration is unsustainable. So as far as comparisons to Ellis Island goes, we can stop those comparisons because there is no comparison. One was over a lifetime for people that lived back then, 60-some years. The other one was over the term of a presidency. Anyway, just wanted to put get a little bit of clarification there, so when people make that comparison, they know what they're talking about. Thank you very much.
All right.
Goodbye.
All right, Andy, sounds good. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Todd and Irwin. Todd, you're on with your Pratt Pack. KDK, how are you?
Yeah, hi. I think I might have called you last week, and I want to start off with an apology because my call was a barrage of my disliking of this president, and I'm not sorry for what I said, but I'm sorry that I went in so many directions. But this guy has just given me so many reasons to not like him. And I mentioned about how people idolize this guy, and I don't get it. But anyway, what that last gentleman said is absolutely correct. Actually, both gentlemen are correct. In the southern states, those concrete finishers, I did a lot of jobs as a civil engineer working at Walmart when they were building. This is like late 90s, early 2000s. All of them concrete finishers were all Mexicans, whether they were illegal or not. And I'm telling you, them guys worked hard. And I hate to say it, but the same thing with this steel mill deal. Who's going to work in them? You think young kids today want to go stand in front of a 700-degree furnace yanking steel out of an? That's the problem. When you talk about the economy and the strength of the country, it has to come from within. And I'm going to touch back on your journalism comment. These 24-hour news shows, or what they call news channels, are the destruction. I watch the Channel 2 news in the morning, and I get all I need. You get the headlines. Once they tell you the news, and if they start giving you an opinion about, well, that's because some Dem did this, and that's why that plane crashed, or that's because some Republicans had their boy doing this, and them 24-hour news channel, you can't get that much news channel. Once the journalist starts giving his opinions, it's not news anymore. That's an entertainment show. And I wish Trump would make that executive order. You're not allowed to call yourself a news channel. Fox News is not news. CNN, Rachel Maddow, that's not news. Those are entertainment programs.
Well said. Well said, Todd.
I just wanted, that's all, and I think if I did talk to you last week, I mentioned how Trump bankrupted a casino, and you gave an answer, and I wanted to rebuttal that. Hey, I was in Atlantic City with my folks going to vacation, and I remember when the resorts was built. Merv Griffin built it.
Right.
Guess what? It's still there. Caesars, Bally's, they're still there. You gave some kind of reason why those casinos went bankrupt. This president is a joke, and I'm dying to know where
All right. I gave you enough time. I got to move on. I got lots of folks that want to talk. I hope you'll call back. Let me get a break and we'll come back. I got to squeeze Craig and Ted in before the top of the hour. It's your Pratt Pack. Good show tonight. Keep them coming.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Don't keep putting it off. Ignoring home repairs won't make them go away. If it's drafty windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, or that dreaded leaking roof, PJ Fitzpatrick can take care of your home repair project right now and save you thousands of dollars before it turns into costly structural damage. This is the time to call the home repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. They'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com. That's trustpj.com.
Well, folks, the temperature is rising and the Summer Winer Wellness Weekend, June 13th and 14th, is fast approaching. There will be expert health and wellness workshops from 9 until 2 on Friday, June 13th and Saturday, June 14th. A delicious, healthy lunch will be provided from 11 to 2, and of course, lots of samples, healthy treats, and deep discounts on your favorite supplements. All this in person only, June 13th and 14th at the World of Wellness, 2419 Baldwick Road, Pittsburgh. That's 2419 Baldwick Road, Pittsburgh.
Honey,
I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
If you are new to Medicare and have questions, Aetna can help. Aetna has a Medicare Advantage plan that includes prescription drug coverage with a $0 monthly plan premium. Plus, the plan includes benefits like dental, vision, and hearing. Call Aetna today at 1-833-771-3415 to learn more. A licensed agent will answer your call.
Aetna Medicare is an HMO PPO plan with a Medicare contract. Our DSMPs also have contracts with state Medicaid programs. Enrollment in our plans depends on contract renewal. Plan features and availability may vary by service area.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Hey, we just keep grinding. No days off. Back at it tomorrow. And got Pirate Baseball coming up tomorrow afternoon here on KDK. And then, of course, a little bit of Colin Dunlap, and then me, and I'll be here tomorrow with my guest, including State Senator Kim Ward, along with Brent Johnson. Now, Brent is the pro at the Lindenwood Golf Club, where he teaches, a public golf facility located in Canonsburg, about 15 minutes south of Pittsburgh. We're going to talk to him about the upcoming U.S. Open. And speaking of that, don't forget, we'll be broadcasting, a lot of us, Marty and Michael Bartley, the next couple of days at Oakmont Bakery, Tony and Mark's place, and then I'll be out there with the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Our guest, Greg and I, Greg Dallas, are going to have Alex Child, very articulate when it comes to golf, breaking it all down before the fourth and final round gets into the full swing of things at Oakmont. Just a few donuts away from where we will be at the Oakmont Bakery. Alex Child, Fox Chapel Golf Club, will be joining us on the show. All right, Craig, West Virginia. How you doing, Craig? Good evening.
Good, Rob. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, sir. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Well, today I golfed my 42nd round of golf this year already. And
how'd you shoot him?
I actually didn't play all that great, but I scored well. I scrambled really well today.
So I got to tell you something real quick. I saw some of these golfers in the rough at Oakmont. I honestly, the ball actually disappears. I don't know what they're. I mean, when I heard Rory McIlroy had a getaway and came here, now he missed the cut at the RBC Canadian Open, but he shot a round of 81. This is going to be very interesting. It's going to be maybe the toughest Oakmont has ever played.
I'm 66. I've been golfing since I was 10, and I believe that this weekend is going to be the hardest course ever played by the PGA, and I mean that wholeheartedly.
You might be right.
To be that hard.
You might be right. You might be right. Anyway, go ahead. What's on your mind?
You know, we're talking about the immigration. You hear Bill talking about shooting people. TJ, Democrats hate this. I want to try to put this in perspective. When I listen to your show on Saturday mornings, even when I don't call in, I'm listening. And right after your show, the U.S. Farm Report comes on. It's a nationwide show. And Bakersfield, California, which Kern County, that is the #1 producing vegetable and fruit area in this entire country. There's about a 200-mile stretch of topsoil north and south of Bakersfield that produces about 35% of what we buy coast to coast. Now, they were interviewing 2 Trump voters. They both had the red hats on, and they have literally lost their entire workforce. Now, when you talk about a farm in California compared to a farm here on the East Coast, a big farm in Pennsylvania is 2,000 or 3,000 acres. These are 75,000, 100,000, 125,000 acre farms out there. We're talking, you name the fruit, the vegetable, they're growing it. And both people said that they're going to lose their farms by this Trump immigration thing. Now, they both said that most of their workers have green cards. They are here legally, but they have left the farms afraid that they're going to get deported anyway. both farmers ran ads in a newspaper, and they said they usually pay between $18 and $20 an hour to do the picking. They have gone clear up to $28 an hour and can't get a single American to come pick anything.
What did I just say?
Their entire crops are going to rot in the fields this year. The one farm had been in the family for like 125 years, and he said without the subsidies anymore that Trump did the veto on, no more farm subsidies, they are going to lose these farms. You know, you hear Bill and TJ, listen, I'm all for freedom of speech, but just like your last caller, if we don't do something about Fox News and this isolationism and how Democrats hate this country, Rob, there's no way out of this. There really isn't. We got to find a way to stop that. You look at January 6th. They were fined almost $1 billion of false, lying about the voting machines. We have to find a way to stop this, and I don't want to see government get involved with media, but this can't go on. This can't go on.
All right, listen, I got to get to Ted. Great call, a lot of good input. Let's get to Ted. Ted, the final 3 minutes is all yours. Take it away. Good evening.
How you doing, Rob? Hey, real quick, I wonder if you can get Joe Rocky on the. He got business mind. Explain U.S. Steel, Amazon.
Oh yeah,
and AI
yeah. I'm going to be reaching out to him real soon. I promise.
Yes. But real quick about the immigration, I think the one thing you got to remember is that Trump established remain in Mexico if you want to claim asylum. That's a little bit different than the previous administration tried to do. And also, if you remember Archie Bunker, remember that famous song, didn't have a welfare state? That's why Americans will not pick fruit, because you got options. You got Section 8, you got all kinds of social programs, which I do agree with.
And that's why the president's trying to get people off the couch and go out and work again.
Oh, doggone right. That's why Americans don't want to do it, because if you got Section 8, you got all that stuff, you're not going to move. And real quick, with the immigration talk, illegal immigration, look, most of it is just a distraction. You got to know Trump's game. He gives with one hand, he takes with another. In other words, that big, beautiful bill, better pay attention, because Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, it's going to be a lot of cuts, one of the biggest cuts in U.S. history. And that's what Americans should be focused on, because they're trying to get that done. And I'm surprised that no one's really paying attention to what this president's doing, because that's the real deal of what's going on to me.
Well, let me ask you before we go, what's going to happen in L.A.? What's the end result? What's going to happen?
Well, in L.A., they'll calm it down, but you got to remember, here's the thing with Democrats. People want to touch and feel. In other words, what are you doing? You can't be sending two messages. One, I hate the president. Number two, everybody be calm. The mayor and the governor have to embrace what's going on and rise above politics. It's not about you. It's about keeping citizens safe. And they should be ashamed of what they're doing, because for one thing, that's what it's playing into Trump's hands. And like you said before, every time you push him, he pushes you right back. They need to tell those protesters your voice were heard. It's time to go home. They're not saying that.
Good stuff. Listen, always love hearing from you. Hey, we're back for the full show tomorrow night. We'll have a lot more to talk about and continue to follow some of the big stories that we've been talking about tonight. Now, I want you to stick around, because we're a couple of minutes away from getting to that CBS radio news at the top of the hour. And then, of course, some great programming throughout the night will keep you abreast of everything that's happening. And, of course, CBS Radio News will keep you on top of everything as well, top and bottom of the hour. Tomorrow night, we're going to have State Senator Kim Ward here. We'll talk more about the deals, Nippon, U.S. Steel. We'll talk about the ever-changing political system in our country and the Republican Party. Does the president, as a Republican, speak for all Republicans? And what about on the state level? What are the Republicans doing, and how can they be a big part of the future when it comes to building this nation and our Commonwealth back, when it comes to great, good-paying jobs? So we have a lot to get to with her tomorrow night, and we're going to talk a little U.S. Open as well, too. So until then, it's your Pratt Pack. Thanks again. News, CBS Radio, 3.5 minutes away, and then stay with us throughout the night. CBS Radio News, top